What's up guys, Valence Ring here, bringing you another video, and this one again is on a YouTube question slash recommendation for a video. I do appreciate all your guys' comments and suggestions. I can't always get to them as soon as I want. Some of them are event related, but I am working on it. I do want to let you guys know I am bringing one out on Wasteland War. I'm working with Blasting Fools in my alliance. He's going to help give some tips and tricks. I'm not an expert in that field, so at any rate, I do want to let you know that video is coming out, and I do try to answer all questions from my YouTube comment feed, so please feel free to comment. Of course, you can find me in-game at Valence Ring. I'm very active, and I do answer the mail. Obviously, you know, I have limited amount of time, so I do the best I can, but feel free to reach out to me in-game at Valence Ring or on my YouTube channel and in the comments section for any video. Post your comments, post your questions, and I'll do my best to respond. At any rate, so this video is based on, like I mentioned, a comment that I got from Gomesy101, and he says, recommendation for video, please make a guide to player versus player hero troop skill use that includes tactical skill benefits and comparison of use of troop stats or specific type stats. Now, if I'm reading this correctly, basically what he's asking, or her is asking, is how do hero troop skills, especially the tactical skill, affect player versus player battles? And of course, how do you set up troop skills for this? So it's kind of a broad question, and I'm going to do my best to basically cover all aspects of player versus player, troop stats, hero stats, boosts, and things like that that are effective in player versus player battle. And this will tie in later to the video I want to do on Zenith Tech Hub, War, Wasteland King, whatever they're calling it now. At any rate, this is Valence Ring with the Woodshed in State 16. I hope you guys enjoy this video, so let's get right into it. Alright, so the first thing I want to mention is if you are VIP level 10, and I will mention this almost every video probably, VIP level 10 is one of the most important things you can do in game, especially as early as possible. It requires 100,000 points, but you get this beautiful, can record 3 talent sets and can record 3 troop formations. The reset apply talent sets for free. This is super critical. You can reset talents by going into your alliance shop and purchasing. I do believe it's here. But you can purchase these talent resets. They're expensive. It's 160,000 alliance coins, and you'll need to buy 1 to change and then 1 to change back. But you can do that if you need to, if you aren't VIP level 10. So that being said, if you're going into a big war like the Zenith Tech Hub or Wasteland King, then that is definitely a time when you want to adjust your talents. The biggest boost that you're going to get to your military is by having a talent memory of military. As you can see, I'm commander level 51. Right here you can see, I'm sorry, 52. I finally got to commander level 52. At 52, my talent memories, I now have 214 talent points that I can allocate. So I put them all in military for my military based tactics. And this is where you're going to get your singular boosts for specific troop types. For instance, fighter attack, fighter defense, fighter hit points. And then of course it improves march speed, and then you get some of these other talents, which I want to do a video on those later. But recall is a super critical talent. It can be used in a lot of different battle situations. It can be used for gathering on days when you're not doing battle, to basically speed up the recall of your troops, and you don't have to waste diamonds. It does recall all your troops. At any rate, when you go down this tree, if you are rider based, then you are not going to want to have your tree look like this. I have all mine set on shooters, and you would want these set on riders and instead of shooters. And then come down, and again, fighters, you would want to switch to riders. So since I'm fighter shooter based, shooters being slightly stronger than my fighters, then I have them set to shooter and fighter. And I basically go down the entire tree, and there's another video on this, and your march cap up, and this helps with the number of troops that you can send into battle, which can be very critical, especially if you're close in might. Having more troops is definitely going to make a difference. And miraculous survival, which is going to protect you from casualties. These are very, very important stats, so you can see why you want to stack these. So going down, basically, this is the first area that you are going to boost your stats. Now I know Gomesy was talking about troop or heroes, troop skills and things like that, and I'll get into that in a second. But basically going down, you do want to set these up for your particular specialization. If you aren't specialized, then you want to make sure that you are able to allocate the points probably a little bit differently and spread them out. Attack, I think, is a little bit more important than defense, and defense is a little bit more important than hit points. All in all, you want all of them up as much as possible, but if you had to sacrifice something, don't sacrifice attack. You want attack high, and then fill your other stats as needed. For instance, if you were shooter rider based, you might want to add stats to the rider and rider attack and rider defense, and ignore rider hit points, or at the very least increase rider attack. So that's kind of the commander talents. That's why VIP level 10 is so important. You definitely need to do that so that you can apply those stats. The second thing that is going to set you up for player versus player battles is your Hall of War. In your Hall of War, you have your troop form set, and I've talked about this in other videos, but this is where you're going to set your formations, and you have, with VIP level 10 at least, maybe sooner, you do have 3 slots that you can allocate. These 3 slots are basically formations that you want to use in different situations. Now, I did used to have a mixed set that was mixed of all 3, but since I was able to get my fighters and shooters up to a very high level, then I just set 3 formation sets. So fighters, shooters, and riders. These are all solo based. If I need to make adjustments outside of these, then I do so manually, which you can always do. But if you go in here, you can change the name, and of course you can hit the gear icon, and this will allow you to change your formation set. Now this is where most of your battle is going to come from. These formation sets, when you send out your troops, is what you're going to want to use so that you know what's going into battle, you have the correct heroes, and you don't have to spend a lot of time searching for those heroes to set them up. So as you can see, I have Requiem, which she's boosts all troops, and then all of the rest of these heroes are shooter based. So this is where only the shooters are boosted, but because this is only shooter formation, this is the smartest way to go. You can see I have two 4-stars in here, a +5 Hartwell and a +4 Griffin. So even though Griffin isn't +5, it's still more beneficial to have him in there than to say some other heroes, because he is shooter based. And this is where the big question about tactical skill damage comes into place. So I want to switch to that. So make sure that you set your troop forms based upon your specializations. Have all 3 forms set to something that is useful for you. Outside of that, let's look at heroes again, and I have a couple videos on heroes, and I plan on doing more. Heroes are kind of what I like to focus on, and they're a big benefit across the board. They allow you to basically customize kind of how your troops are going to act and some of the bonuses that apply to them specifically. So leveling up the heroes that boost the troop specialization that you are for is going to be very beneficial for you. For instance, Obsidian is rider based, and you can actually see in the bottom left corner of each of their avatars, their cards, you can see what type of hero they are. So Requiem is shooter based, but her troop skills boost all troops. So it's still good to have her in my shooter lineup, because the tactical skill damage is going to boost shooters, and that is very important. So let's talk about what is that tactical skill. So a lot of people may not be aware of this. Tactical skill is, it deals damage of 500% troop attack. Here's the important distinction. If you use Requiem as a shooter and you put her into a fighter lineup, her tactical skill will actually not activate. It will not work. She boosts shooters. She does not boost fighters. She does not boost riders. Now, I will say, I haven't tested this thoroughly, so this is just my opinion, and I could be wrong. But from what I understand, tactical skill boosts a specific type of troop, and she is a shooter based, which means she boosts shooters. So if you put her in a fighter lineup, when her skill goes off in a player versus player battle, you are not going to get the benefit of that 500% tactical skill damage. So what is that 500% tactical skill damage? So what this means is in battle, like if you notice in the match 3 game, once their rage fills, then they utilize their skill, and whatever their skill is going to activate in the battle. In player versus player battle, unlike match 3 battles, tactical skill is the only skill that goes off. All other skills, these hero skills, don't actually apply. These hero skills are for match 3 gameplay only. The troop skills are for battles only. So these are the bonuses that you're going to get for your sanctuary or your troops during battle, and is not related to the match 3. Hero skills is match 3 only. So with that distinction in mind, tactical skill is the skill that is going to go off. All of these other skills in here are what you might call passive. They're always going to apply. The tactical skill is what happens when their rage fills in that battle. So when her rage fills during a battle and her skill goes off, she will do 500% of troop attack. If you actually watch the battle, and maybe I'll do one here just to show you. I don't know if I can do it or not. Let's go into ruins and do the ultimate challenge and attack. You can see I have all mine. I'm not going to skip the battle because I want to show you guys actually what happens. So watch down here. You'll see all my heroes. They have these little timers as their avatar. It's like a clock. Their avatar starts to turn white from gray. You see Obsidian skill. Now, as Obsidian, you can see how he targets the riders. And then the fighter will target the fighters, which I believe is Divana. And then Myers, I forget which one he is, but he will target it. On the battle screen, you see these little gold discs that surround a certain number of troops. That's the tactical skill. See there, my riders go off again, and they get that little gold ring around them. That's the hero targeting that specific troop and giving them a 500% attack of what those troops would do the damage of, if that makes sense. So basically, that hero is utilizing those troops, which is their same troop type, and doing 500% or whatever the boost is for that particular hero, tactical skill damage. So these are big boosts that happen during battle, and that's why it's so important for you to make sure that your heroes match your troops. The hero type matches the troop type. I'm going to go ahead and skip the rest of that battle. I'm not going to win it anyways. So, like I said, coming in here into your Hall of War troop form set, when you select these, you want to make sure that all of these heroes, if possible, match the troop. So for instance, this is my rider base, and as you can see, I have rider, 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 rider. All 5 heroes are rider based, and of course you might not be able to have this if you don't have the correct heroes for it. But I can tell you that there are at least 5 of each type, and you'll be able to boost some of them up. You may have to use some of your 4 stars. If you're lower in level and still building, you may even have to use 3 stars. I don't ever really recommend using 2 stars, but if they're high level and you're very low level, then those can be utilized for the max benefit. It is much better to have all of them match your troop type when you're doing player versus player battle because of the tactical skill damage, if that makes sense. However, if you have, like, let's say shooter, I have Requiem as a shooter. If I didn't have Dom very strong, I could take him out and put her in, and she's going to boost all the troop skills. Now, if the troop boosts are better than having a different hero that matches the troop type, this would still be smarter because her passive skills, Requiem's passive skills, are going to be active all the time. You are going to lose that one hero's tactical skill damage, but the boosts might outweigh that. So that is something that you have to consider. I'm going to go ahead and put Dom back in because I do have him leveled up enough, and he is a rider. So as you can see, I need him to go up 1 more level because he's only affecting defense, and I need him to affect attack. But I'm not rider based. This is my weakest lineup, so I'm not too concerned about it right now. I am working on getting him up to level 131 because 4-star heroes require level 131 to unlock all their skills. Once that's done, then the attack boost will take effect, and that this will be an even stronger run, a stronger troop form set. All right, so that's how you're able to set up most of this stuff. Some of the other key points are, for instance, EVA. In EVA, you do have the skills. You have the military and the economy skills. Now, I try to play very balanced, and I'm not too concerned about EVA being very strong in one area or another. However, it can be beneficial, especially if you're specializing and you don't have a balanced setup yet at all. Then it can be important to focus on EVA. So for instance, let's say I'm shooter based. As you can see, I have my shooter attack higher than fighter and then higher than rider. You can definitely see the direction that my troops are strongest. It goes, my strongest is shooter, then fighter, then rider. So let's say I don't want to worry about my riders. There are ways to reset my rider attack skill back to 0. This reallocates all the points I put into my rider attack, getting it up, and that way I can use those points to boost my shooter attack or my fighter attack or whatever the case may be. So doing this by focusing on EVA can allow you to specialize and get some of those boosts up specifically for those types of troops, and that can make a big difference in player versus player battles. So other than that, another point I did want to make is as far as reinforcements go, especially if you're doing wars and rallies, player versus player rallies, your alliance hall is where you're allowed to take and give reinforcements. So as you can see, my reinforcement size is 460,000. I have a level 28 alliance hall, and this number goes up, and as far as I know, there isn't any other way to boost this except for the alliance hall. So what that means is that I can take 460,000 troops for reinforcement purposes. So let's say I'm in a hub or something like that. These are the types of reinforcements that I can get for my sanctuary, and I want this number as high as possible. So I try to keep my alliance hall as close to my headquarters level as possible and upgrade it as soon as I can. In conjunction with that is your hall of war. This is what affects your rally size. So this is actually, the rally size is what determines the hub and things like that. If my applicable rally size is higher, this means more troops can join me at a station spot for player versus player battles. So this is important. So you want Hall of War up with Alliance Hall, and you have to upgrade Alliance Hall to be able to upgrade Hall of War. So they are tied together, and of course they can't be any higher than your headquarters level. So this is another important way to make sure that you have the right setup for player versus player battles. Okay, so the only other thing, of course, is your military boosts, which you might have to buy if you don't have them on hand. But troop attack, troop defense boosts, obviously these are really big. March size boosts, mega march talent set, all of these are what you're going to utilize for player versus player battles. The most important things that you can take away from this is, obviously you want to increase the heroes that match your troop specialization to the best of your ability. If you are rider based, you want to boost your rider heroes up sooner rather than later. Obviously you need to do a lot of things with heroes, including your match 3 gameplay, your ultimate challenge, your campaigning, and things like that. So you or arena and hero dual glory and things like that. So you may be trying to build up different heroes for their troop skills, or you may be trying to build them up because they have the hero skills that you need. So you're going to have to balance what you're doing, but for player versus player battles, when you're focusing on that, boost the heroes that match your setup first and foremost. riders for riders, shooters for shooters, etc. Very easy to understand. Economy type heroes. That's the book up here. Economy type heroes boost your sanctuary and things like that. They do not boost typically player versus player battles, except for like Eve, where you get the troop size boosts. These are super important, again, for increasing your march size, increasing your ability to send more troops into battle. So I hope that answered the question. Just to recap, tactical skill damage is when the hero matches the troop type and goes into battle. That's the skill that they use, and it boosts the attack of that unit type as an extra attack. If the hero doesn't match the troop type, you're not going to receive the benefit for that. Make sure that your troop form is set in your Hall of War to maximize that lineup, and make sure that your heroes match your troops, and to make sure that you have a quick and easy way to manage which troops you're sending into which battle. Use as many formation sets as you have. Obviously you can have 5 marches, so you want to have eventually 5 formation sets, and hopefully you have enough troops and heroes that are leveled up to back having 5 of them. Of course, that's very important, and that's how you're going to do that. Make sure you're VIP level 10, get there as soon as possible. Allocate your memories, your talent memory, to match what you're trying to do. And then last but not least, your wall. Make sure, especially for player versus player battles where you have a sanctuary raid, so your sanctuary might be raided. If you have Atropos, she needs to go into your wall because she has the troop boost, as you can see down here: raid attack, raid defense, raid hit point plus 60%. Huge boosts, and it's important to have her in here so that when you have other marches going out, she is always in your wall. You should not have her in any troop set. Even if you're raiding other sanctuaries, keep her in yours. She's an excellent defender and is way important. So that's how you want to do that, guys. I hope that helped. I know it's a lot of information, and I just want to make sure I answer the question to the best of my ability. If you have any questions, comments, or anything that I missed, please put them in the comments section below. As always, guys, I appreciate you watching. Like the video if it helped. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like this.